Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Real Sports Updates here. Back again with another video. So today's topic that I want to get into was the preseason game. Kind of wanted to touch on the rookies' performances in the first preseason game. Now, these are just like some minor takeaways. Obviously, it's only one preseason game into these guys' careers, so you can't take too much away from it. You cannot make you really can't make too many definitive statements just based off of one game. I mean, you really can't make really any definitive statements as far as career projections and stuff based off of these rookies' first taste of the NFL. So that's not what I'm going to be doing today, but I will be just kind of going over the performances and pointing out some things, good and bad, that I seen. And the hope is that all these rookies really get it together, and really are on the same page as the rest of the team before week one. And that's the hope. So, and there's still a lot of time left before that. So, again, not going to make too many definitive statements, and I'm not going to be a alarmist, when I'm talking about anything that showed up bad. So, without further ado, let's get started. So, first and foremost, I wanted to start off with Zion Johnson. Zion Johnson was in his debut with the Chargers. He was fantastic. This guy is so stout. He's very hard to move. Base, he is just a guy. He looks like a tree out there. Like these defensive linemen, at the point of attack, when the ball gets snapped, they don't move him. They don't do anything. Like they don't push him back in the quarterback's lap. He is just a very hard guy to move, and that was the number one thing, right? Even if you are not a football fan, if you are not really into like the details of football, like I am, or some of you guys are. The one thing you can see if you look at 77, that is a big man, and he is hard to move, very hard to move. And he's big, but he's so compact, and he's so mobile. He does not look like any other offensive lineman that I've seen. This guy is a new breed of offensive lineman. It really was impressive to see. He was very, very impressive, and he just looked confident. His entire body language, kind of his swagger. He looked confident. He looked like he knew what he was doing. He looked like he was prepared for the moment. He looked like he was prepared to be out there, and he really did impress. And this is something that a lot of people are talking about league wide, right? Not just the Charger fans or not just the Rams fans who watch the game. This is something league wide. A lot of people are impressed with his performance, and he really didn't play all that much, but this guy is going to be tremendous. He is going to be excellent. And you can only expect him to get better as time goes on. Once he gets more seasoning under his belt, right? Even just through his rookie season, right? Once he gets 4 to 5 games under his belt, and once he really truly understands what he has to do out there from week to week, you can just expect him to get better, man. He's gonna be off the charts. And again, I'm not making any super definitive statements, but he looks like a guy that can be a Pro Bowler, like easy. He really looks the part right now. So if he continues to do what he has been doing, if he continues to working hard and learning this position that he has in the NFL, he is going to be fantastic. So I am very high on Zion Johnson, just like I was on draft night. So he is a guy. He's a guy that's going to make a difference this year. So, I can't wait to watch more of him during the season. Now, moving on to the defensive side of the ball, here's a guy, his name didn't get called a lot, but I thought he was very good. Otito Obanga, I'm butchering his last name, and I have been since he got drafted. But y'all know who I'm talking about. Number 93, big man in there at the nose tackle position. He impressed me when he was in the game as well too. He didn't get a lot of snaps, but he impressed me from the standpoint of this guy already knows what his position is. He already knows what is expected of him. And when he was in the game, he was in a position to make plays, right? And the nose tackle position generally is making plays at the line of scrimmage, so you can open things up for the linebackers. You can open things up for the defensive ends who maybe have some one-on-one stuff, maybe with the tackles. That is pretty much your primary job, especially in this defense. And that's what he was doing. He was commanding double teams, and he was eating blocks, and he was opening up lanes for linebackers and the defensive ends as well too. Now, whether those guys make plays or not, is questionable. But he was doing what was expected of him, and he was doing what nose tackles have to do in this defense, right? This is the hardest. This is probably the hardest spot to be at on this defense. This is the hardest position to be in, right? That nose tackle position, because it is thankless. A lot of people don't talk about you. Your stats are not up there, right? You maybe have 4 to 5 tackles a game. You typically don't get a lot of sacks, because you're commanding a double team, center guard pretty much all game long. So your job is just to eat up space in the middle, right? Eat up space, command the linemen to commit to you, and open up, the A and B gaps for the linebackers to come in and clean things up. But he did what was expected of him, and I thought that was impressive. He did that at UCLA, so he's a guy, he knows what's expected of him. He's not a guy who is going to put up the Aaron Donald numbers. He's not going to flash like Aaron Donald, because that's not what he does. He is a space filler, and those guys are valuable. When you look at a guy like that, you think of the Vince Wilforks, right? In this type of defense, right? They didn't put up Vince Wilfork didn't put up a lot of stats per se, when he was in his prime with the Patriots, but he did his job, right? He ate up space in the middle, and that's pretty much all you want, because you want your linebackers, you want your outside linebackers, you want your defensive ends to clean that up. So he did what he was supposed to do, and I was very impressed by him. And I think he can get on the field a lot this year, and I think he can make a difference, especially in the run game. So very excited to see that. Now, the guy who is not really being talked about right now, but the guy I think who is very impressive was Xander Horvath. I think this guy he's got the fullback position locked up. I really do. I think he's got the position locked up over Gabe Neighbors. Gabe Neighbors has been with the Chargers the past 2 seasons. He's been okay when he's been called upon, but just from the Anthony Lynn offense to, the offense last year, there wasn't a ton of opportunity for him. But I think Xander Horvath has a totally different set of skills, and, you can see it out on the field. He's playing the fullback position, but he did get a lot of carries at the halfback position in college. And he's explosive, right? He's a pretty good athlete. I take it back. He's a very good athlete. You've seen him jumping over people in college. He can run. He's obviously physical. He can block. And I think he can be a weapon out of the backfield, especially catching passes. When you think about fullbacks catching passes, you think of Kyle Juszczyk from the Niners. He's a guy that is very active in their passing game. And he's a weapon. And, the Niners are so comfortable with him catching passes, they split him out sometimes, at the split end position, from his fullback position. So I'm not saying Xander Horvath is going to have that type of impact, but he does have that type of skill set because he is so athletic. He's just a bigger guy. He's got more weight on him. He's very physical. He seeks out contact. He is like a old school football player, and I'm very impressed by him. That's a guy that, if you are Brandon Staley, right, if you want to go into a statement game, right, for instance, week 1, you go into a statement game and you say, hey, we're going to run the ball, we're going to be physical. That's the guy who I want in front of Austin Eckler clearing the way. In front of Austin Eckler, in front of Isaiah Spiller, that's the guy who I want clearing the way. I really do. He is a very physical player. And again, he offers more than just blocking. He can catch the ball out of the backfield, and he can run away from some linebackers too. So very impressed with him. I think he's a lock to make this roster. Barring injury or anything crazy, he's a lock to make this roster. Very impressed. Obviously, Isaiah Spiller. I talked about him in the post-game live stream that I did. He was very, very, very impressive. I talked about his vision. His vision is second to none. The type of vision that he has, I don't think you can teach it. I think it is just a natural feel that you have at the running back position. And there are some running backs who do have that natural feel. They're able to, set up their blocks properly. It doesn't matter who is blocking either, whether it's a lineman, a tight end, a wide receiver. Isaiah Spiller's a guy, he can set up his blocks and make his move at the last minute, right? So his blocker is able to wipe out, a lane for him to gain an extra 5 to 6 yards. And you guys seen that several times on Saturday night. So I think Isaiah Spiller is going to play a crucial role in this offense this season. And, I really can't wait to see him run the ball. I can't wait to see him, catch the ball out of the backfield. I think he is going to have a very big impact. Very impressed. So those are the good things that I see. Now, obviously, I'm going to get to the stuff that I really didn't like, and it's not concerning, but it was just some bad play. Obviously, the DBs, right? Going to have to talk about that. The DBs, Dean Leonard, Jasir Taylor, to a much lesser degree, and obviously JT Woods, right? I posted that a screenshot of the play that happened where JT Woods accidentally tackled Dean Leonard, thinking that it was the Rams wide receiver. It was comical. But in all honesty, again, these guys' first NFL game. It's their first touch of the NFL. And there's some added stuff there too, that it's LA. I get that the Chargers are not they're not the glamour franchise in LA, right? They just relocated to LA, 5 years ago, whatever it was. But there is a little bit of added oomph there, right? You're playing at SoFi Stadium. A lot of these players, they've seen it on TV. I don't know if it was their first time being there, but it's their first time playing there, playing an actual game there. So, there was some probably some wide-eyed stuff going on. Everybody looking around, looking at the lights and all that stuff, looking at, all the people there. It is a sight to behold. Definitely is a sight to behold. SoFi is one of one as far as the stadium goes and just the atmosphere. So it is a one of one. So I will give these guys a pass. And it wasn't as bad as it looked, really. Especially with Dean Leonard. He was getting beat. But as you go back and as you look at some of these plays, Dean Leonard was in position for a lot of these plays. Now, he got called for pass interference twice. On those, he was in position as well, too. He wasn't in bad position. He just didn't turn his head. It looked to me that he was just a little untrusting of his own ability, and that you can get that way sometimes as a DB. I know that from personal experience. Especially if you are coming out and you are just, afraid of getting beat, right? You're going to play your position at a defensive level, right? And obviously it's a defensive position, but you're going to play it in a defensive manner, right? Meaning you're playing it not to get beat, as opposed to you playing it to stop a receiver or to break up a pass or to really cause havoc and throw off the timing of the offense. You're playing it in a defensive position. I just don't want to get beat. And it seems like that a lot of that was going on too. But, they weren't in bad position. They knew what they were doing. It's just the performance wasn't all that great. The biggest thing, though, is tackling. And that's with all of the younger DBs. Jasir Taylor, he had the running back. I can't remember which quarter it was, but he had one of the Rams running backs dead to rights. It was at the goal line, and he had him dead to rights in the backfield for a 1 or 2 yard loss. He hit him pretty hard, but he didn't bring his hands. He didn't wrap up. The running back bounced off of him and ended up scoring a touchdown. So tackling is a big thing. Obviously with JT Woods, that was the big thing. He's got to be able to tackle. All these guys have to be able to tackle because this is not college football. You're playing with grown men who have, families, who have children to feed. They got to put food on their table. So you're playing against strong grown men with a will, right? With the will that they are not going to get embarrassed, that they're going to go out there and they're going to dominate physically. And you have to bring that same intensity as well, too. These guys don't care that you play for the Chargers. They don't care what school you play for. They don't care if you came out of the SEC or whatever. You got to go out there and you have to show that you are a NFL player. You have to show that you are worthy of putting on that Charger jersey. And you got to bring the intensity out there. So I think it was a pretty good learning experience. You obviously want those type of performances to happen in the preseason. You don't want that in the regular season. Especially opening the season against the Raiders, right? You definitely don't want that, especially if these guys get into the game at all. You don't want them to be, out there doing that type of stuff against Devontae Adams, Darren Waller, really premium receiving targets in the NFL. You don't want that. So if these performances are going to happen, you want them to happen now in the preseason and use them as stepping stones, as learning experiences. And I think these guys will. I think Staley will coach them up. Now they have a solid, concrete example from real, actual live gameplay. Not just practicing against Kenan and Mike, but they have actual, gameplay, actual tape to look at from playing another team, so they know what to improve on. And they know how to get better. And that's pretty much the only thing, just knowing how to get better and making the commitment to get better. And I know Staley's coaching them up. I know Ronaldo Hill, defensive coordinator, I know they're going to be coaching them up. So this was a learning experience. But overall, the rookies played well. The DBs, like I said, it wasn't as bad as it looked, but there were some notable plays that made things look worse than what it was. But they just got to improve. Even the guys that played well, they got to improve, right? You got to be able to bring that every Sunday against real NFL roster guys, and not just the guys who are on the bubble trying to make teams and whatnot. So all in all, it was a good, very, very good showing from the rookies. No injuries. Everybody came out of it in one piece, so that was a good thing. So they can just get to work this week. The Cowboy game is going to be coming up again on Saturday, so they'll have another opportunity to go out there and if you're one of the guys who play well, you have an opportunity to go out there and continue playing well, continue building momentum. And, for the DBs who really didn't play well, you have a chance to go out there and redeem yourself. So there's going to be ample opportunity for everybody to prove themselves. So that's all pretty much I took away from the rookies, in the preseason game. Hit the comment section, though. Let me know who you guys think had the best game of all the rookies. I'm curious to see. I've been loving all the comments you guys have been giving me, all the feedback. This is very interesting discourse, and I can't wait for the regular season to start because we're getting close, and it's going to be very exciting. So we're almost there. But that's all I got for this video, guys. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. Don't forget to hit that like button on your way out as well too. Thank you guys so much for all the support. I really, really appreciate it. Shout out to all my new subscribers as well, too. And I'll be back tomorrow with more content. So I will see you guys later. And until next time.